making my heart, it's starting to turn love blind.
What's up, my Hans family? Today is a pumpkin mask face paint for day 8 of Hansween. If you didn't know, or you're new, Hansween is 31 tutorials in the month of October, which means a new video every day. We made realistic stitches already in the Sally video, so now let's paint them. All product details and Halloween tips will be listed down below as usual. Let's do it. Starting out with our pumpkin stem, we're busting out the good old Model Magic. This is a lightweight air drying clay, and it's the shit. Mold out a stem shape as big or as little as you'd like, and then add some root type shapes to the bottom. Make sure there's a curved bottom so it can sit on your forehead properly. Using a thin tool, add some lines going upwards to show the stem kind of twisting together. Paint that with brown paint, either using acrylic or water activated, whichever you got, and highlight the top portion with some lighter brown. To top it off, use a bit of moss. I got this from my local craft store. I put this around the edges and adhere it with either Pros-Aid, a hot glue gun, whatever you gotta do to make it work. Channeling motherfucking Tim Gunn over here. Make it work. Make it work. Now, decently barefaced, just a little bit of staining from my previous look. We want to paint our face with some orange water activated paint. Water activated paints get nice and creamy with some water, and they go dry to the touch, which is perfect for a night out on Halloween. You won't have to worry about nothing as you're possibly getting shit-faced dancing around, as is tradition. Pull the paint down onto the neck to start a bit of a ripped effect of the mask. Sometimes with these bright-ass colors, they can be a little patchy, so if that happens, you can use a little bit of cream paint to make it nice and opaque. With some black body paint, I'm going to draw out our creepy open smile and other open features of the mask. Since it's a pumpkin, add some beginning little lines of the ridges we're going to create. If you really wanted to make this look realistic, don't fill in the gaps full with black like I'm doing, and just keep your natural skin exposed underneath. I almost forgot my nose, so I filled that in also. Using alcohol paints, I'm distressing out the pumpkin a bit and adding a considerable amount of texture. This will help the pumpkin to not be so flat. You could also do this with a cream paint or an eyeshadow. Contour out your cute little pumpkin face with a dark orange shadow. This one just happens to be from Makeup Geek called Morocco. It's one of my favorite of all time, other than my Holy Trinity, you guys know. For the first round of highlighting, use some white cream paint up against the black lines we drew out, since that part of the pumpkin would be raised forward. You can also see I'm mainly just doing this on the top of the bumps in the pumpkin. With a light brown paint, let's draw on the stitches. Do some crisscrossing and just some straight, but I gotta say I like the crisscross ones the best for sure. To make the stitches look like they're actually going into the pumpkin, we want to darken around the curve of the stitch as it connects. Do it in a large circular area so that it looks like it's pulling the fabric inwards towards the string. Also, any string that would be hovering over top the pumpkin, add a little bit of orange shadow there too, because it'd be casting a shadow down. Now to intensify it and create the deepest part of the hole, add a bit of dark brown and black shadow right up against the stitch. Darkening that quite a bit more will make it look like the string is actually going inside a hole in the mask. When you do get to the crisscross stitches, choose one to go over top the other and add a bit of brown shadow on top of the bottom one. This will help it to look like one stitch is actually popping over top the other one, the bottom one would have a little bit of shadow on it, and then go back around with black eyeshadow and really solidify that line so it's two separate stitches. Finally, put a bit of white cream paint on the middle part of the stitch. Adding a highlight to the middle portion will make them look like they're actually curved off of our face. As it would curve forwards, it would have just a little highlight right in the middle. Think of it like a ball. A ball has a highlight right in the middle because it's curving forwards, know what I'm saying? Going back in now with some of that orange shadow we used earlier, we're going to bring back in the pumpkin bump-ish effect by darkening the little black lines we put down. I'm keeping the majority of the shadow right up against where our little black line is, and then dragging that outwards. Do some more final little touches, little final highlights on top of the edges of the pumpkin, because those would really be raised up forwards. And just bring back any of those black lines that we had kind of taken away by adding all the orange shadow on top. Since this is a mask after all, it needs a shadow that would be cast down onto our natural skin. So just add some brown shadow, blend it out a little bit. I'm using Mocha, which is from my holy trinity of Makeup Geek eyeshadows, because god damn, it's the perfect shade. That shadow would be super dark right underneath the mask, especially where these little kind of V portions are connecting. So you want to add a little bit of black shadow right into that as well. Continue the texture and little pumpkin ridges down your neck so it's nice and cohesive. And add a little pop of highlight to the tips of the ripped off mask. As I was doing this, I realized that I did kind of just a little contour, but now I wanted to really go in and deepen the features. I'm taking a black eyeshadow and I'm blending it around where our smile goes to, because I want that to look like it's receding into my cheekbones. Same with right underneath my brow. This little corner in our eye would be the darkest because this bone, our skull, is casting some shadow down. So blend out between the orange and black shadow to get a little bit of a kind of angry furrowed brow look. For the stem, I'm using Pros-Aide to adhere it to my face. I would definitely suggest using a little bit of alcohol to wipe off your paint first and have it stick straight to your skin. Pros-Aide sits best when it's on your actual skin instead of sitting on a layer of paint. Put a couple layers of that, let it dry, and then put your stem down. Pros-Aide, if you're wearing this out, is perfect. It will hold this all night long. Because the stem was so intense and just this big old thick piece on my face, I brought some moss down onto the actual mask so that it was nice and blended out. It looked like that stem was slowly growing out of the head. I popped in 2 different contacts and a fancy little wig because I did not feel like taking my hair down. That shit was dirty. And that is the entire look. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for watching and checking it out. If you do recreate it, use the hashtag Hanzaween so I can see your looks. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm posting every day in October at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I love the fuck out of you guys. You're just the shit, you know? And I'll see you tomorrow.